Welcome to this Sunday's Gospel Reflection. Since I was a young boy, I always hated sports and competitions. There was a reason. My congenital condition limited my physical effort and stress. So I couldn't compete with the other children at school or elsewhere or in the neighborhood. When we played football, they always asked me to be either a goalkeeper or just asked me to stay behind the goalposts to fetch the odd ball that went astray. This was why I never grew interested in football or sports. I have to confess that. With time, I discovered another reason for my allergy. I could never stomach the fact that for anyone to win or succeed, someone else had to lose and fail. In every competition, the victory of one always means the defeat of another. Why should this be so? Why should someone pay the price of defeat so that someone else can claim the glory of victory? Why should the reward always go to the fastest, the strongest, the richest, the brightest? Is competition a healthy human instinct or a destructive, unhealthy one? Can we not share the joy of success without inflicting the pain of failure on someone else? In today's gospel, Jesus seems to advocate this vicious dynamic of competitiveness. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, he says in today's gospel. Whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Well, what does this mean? Is Jesus competing to get more love than we have or should have for our parents, friends, brothers, sisters? Or is he inviting us to forget and drop that word more when we speak about love? Those whose love is limited remain slaves to the more or the less of love that they are willing to give. A poor love is a calculating love. That is poor indeed. Because where there is genuine and true love, there can be no calculations, there can be no comparisons. Competition loses its meaning. Real unconditional love never comes in limited quantities. It is always unlimited, universal, eternal. What is indeed limited is not the love we may have for someone. What is limited are the energy, capabilities, time, resources we have as limited human beings. Love itself is always infinite, always boundless. As St. John reminds us, love is God Himself. He will never compete with us to appear stronger, more important, greater than us. Have you ever met a father, a mother who really love their children? Engage in any kind of competition with them? Does a loving parent seek to be more successful, more important, better than his or her children? On the contrary, isn't it the joy and deepest desire for parents to see their children become more important, more successful, better than themselves? This is the kind of God Jesus came to help us discover and welcome. In Jesus, this is the only competition God engages in with Himself for the sake of each one of us. He wants to give more so that we, His children, can become more. He gives up His own Son, His own life, so that we can live. This is the life giving challenge He offers us in today's gospel. Whoever seeks his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. So often, in our short sightedness, we humans are too terrified of our smallness, our weakness. We are too terrified of death. So we get locked up in the tragic dynamic of primitive life found in the animal kingdom. It's all about devouring someone else to ensure one's own survival. It is survival of the fittest. And that's the law of the jungle. Is not this the struggle for power to dominate and exploit the weak in our so called developed societies? In spite of the so called progress, we still live according to our animal instincts, exploiting our weaker brethren, oppressing them, using them for our own comfort, our own convenience. We make beautiful, impressive declarations of equality, dignity for everyone, and yet, at the same time, we promote abortion of children when they are weakest. We destroy our environment, our common home, engage in political commercial wars to dominate, to exploit the others. Officially or unofficially, we use imported slaves to build our roads, luxury towers, and boost our economy, paying them a pittance. We spend fortunes to celebrate weddings, while we continue to see more marriages becoming weaker and increasingly short lived. Our ideal life is a life of comfort, of convenience, rather than an ideal that is solid, self sacrificing, and unconditional commitment to the ones we love. The list is endless. The jungle remains thick and dangerous, and yet the words of Jesus keep knocking at our closed and self contained defenses, inviting us to stop competing with one another. Instead, He is inviting us to start completing one another, offering what we are, who we are, what we have to support those around us in a loving, generous, fraternal sharing of who we are. This is the true and meaningful life for which God has created us. As Mother Teresa put it so wonderfully, what I can do, you cannot do. But what you can do, I cannot do. Together, let us do something beautiful for God. This is what it means to stop competing amongst ourselves and start completing one another with true and fraternal solidarity. No, competition on its own succeeds only to bring out the worst side of who we are. Giving, sharing with others the best of who we are and what we have brings out the best of who we are. Only this kind of free, self giving love will make us indeed fully alive and complete in our dignity and beauty as children of God. Like Him, we are invited to be transformed into pure, total, complete, self giving love. Only then will we discover that we have been created to become His true image and likeness. On that day, football will become a really entertaining game where no one will lose, but everyone will win the game. God bless you. Thank you.